What is up, guys? My name is Greg, and today I'm answering questions Google has to ask artists like me. A little bit about me. I am a former art teacher. I am a practicing artist. So the first autocomplete term that we are starting with is how do artists? How do artists innovate? How do we innovate? That's a very personal question. I start with like a brainstorming process, creating thumbnails to create new art. So if I'm creating like a 2D piece or even a 3D piece, it's really nice to start out with a small, really rough picture that I can create in like 5 seconds. It's really quick and easy, and it's a really nice way to make mistakes. So in terms of like engineering, they make prototypes. So this is essentially the artist's version of prototypes. So specifically, I'm working on some clothing designs right now. And for that, the process was I created a bunch of different sketches in my sketchbook to see the composition, to see if I liked it, see if that was a direction I wanted to go. When you're starting to innovate, that's where you want to start, that you're really running through all the bad ideas first until you get to the good ones. So the next one, how do artists use color harmonies? So I'm thinking like color palettes and things like that, how to make colors look nice together. If you're a beginner, I really recommend looking at pre-made color palettes to see different color combinations and start with those and use that as a bouncing off point. There are a lot of tools on the internet where they generate really nice color palettes that go well together, and start from there because it'll build confidence at the beginning. And if you start building confidence and start having fun with your work, then you're just going to create more artwork. If you're starting from zero and try and do a really complicated thing, you'll get really discouraged. So start off with something that's fun, easy, and you know you're going to create something nice. Yeah. I don't know any, but I'll find a couple of tools online and then I'll leave them down in the description below so that you can check them out if you're interested. How do artists illustrate an optical illusion? I don't know. That's a very specific thing. Not my area of expertise. I guess you Google it because I don't know how to do it. All right, let's go. How do artists sign their work? In the bottom right corner.
Is there some kind of actual like rule for that?
No, that's just what artists do. There's no rule for where you sign your work. You could sign your work in the middle of the page if you wanted. Yeah, it really depends on what you're doing, but it's pretty common for artists to do it in the bottom right corner. I don't know why. Other artists like to put it on the back of their work so that it's not showing at all. But as an artist, you could do whatever you want, put your name anywhere. How do artists get paid? You know, that's a question I'm asking myself every day. Let's actually talk about this because the business of artists is something that they don't really teach you at school. So I'm going to drop a few helpful hints, helpful things of how other artists make their money. Some people go the more commercial route. So they are graphic designers, they're illustrators, and they make art for companies. There are other ones that are even more commercial where they make like greeting cards for retailers. So there are a lot of different paths for artists. There are others that are entertainers. So think of like your Ross Straws type people that are really good personalities on YouTube and they make that YouTube money. And they have excellent Patreon supporters. So they're directly supported by the people that follow them. So that's another way. Or other people sell like merchandise and create successful businesses with their art, like creating a clothing brand or something like that. So there are a lot of different paths to take as an artist that you could go down. You could be an art teacher. I was doing that for a while. You could be a fine artist and go sell your work at gallery shows. I've got a couple friends that are doing that. All right, so let's flip it over. What do artists? What do artists do? They do everything. They make the world a lot more interesting for people to navigate around. Without art, I mean, life is boring. You could be a film artist. You could be like musical artists. Artists are the creators of the world. They make life a lot more fun to walk around in and make you happy. Or they might make you sad, but they tell stories, put you in an environment.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on TikTokers and YouTubers as artists?
I think that's the way to go. The traditional way we see like visual artists is through like gallery shows or museums. And there's a lot of like gatekeepers for that. There are people at the very top dictating what is important, and their opinions matter a lot. And that's not necessarily what the masses want. And the great thing about TikTok and the great thing about YouTube is I get to have a direct connection so that I can give you what I'm creating without any middlemen. And I can give you my own voice and just share that. If you like it, you like it. Thumbs up, put a heart, double tap on that TikTok. You got it. If you don't like it, you could just move on. Those ways are really good at finding a specific audience and connecting them to each other. So I think that's pretty cool.
I'm curious, what do you think your art school would say about YouTubers and TikTokers as artists?
Well, the thing about schools is they're kind of a business. They want people to go to their school, pay tuition. I mean, there is a lot of valuable information. You get a pretty good network of people to reach out to, and that is really valuable to get started. But that's not something that you necessarily have to do. If you are doing it on your own and teaching yourself or finding resources to teach yourself, someone isn't going to be teaching you how to do that process. So you have to go through a lot more junk to find out what you need to find out. But that path might be a lot shorter because you can search out what you need for that exact moment and find a solution that you're looking for immediately. And not necessarily like a broad brush stroke of, oh, okay, this is what most people would need to be a good artist. But you can find out exactly what you want to be a good artist. So what do artists do? They do everything. They do everything. They make the world a better place. Okay. What do artists use to draw digitally? They use a lot of things. Tablets are going to be the first thing that comes to mind. They have like iPods. How old am I? They have iPads. And one program that's really popular on TikTok and all that is Procreate. The thing about tablets is like you can draw directly onto the screen and you can see exactly what you're drawing. It gives you access to a lot of different colors, like pretty much an unlimited amount of colors. And if you're doing things traditionally, that can be really expensive. There's a barrier where you have to learn how to mix colors. Drawing digitally, you have access to a lot of different things. Or you can get a really cheap tablet where you just draw onto a surface and then it shows up on your computer screen. And I have one of those. I really recommend it. They're like $50. So there are a lot of different avenues to draw digitally. There are some people that get started with a mouse. And I recommend Clip Studio Paint. It's really intuitive, a lot more intuitive than when I tried Photoshop. You could definitely check that out. I'm not sponsored by anyone at the moment. Clip Studio Paint, it's a one-time charge. It's not like a subscription service like Photoshop. So once you buy it, you have it forever. And it's really intuitive for artists. It's made for art. Whereas Photoshop, it's made for photographers, digital artists, and a whole bunch of other things. It's not necessarily catered towards artists specifically. So they have a lot of different tools that you might not need and harder to get into it. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What do artists wear? Whoa. I mean, what do artists wear? My high school teacher, Mr. Santiago, used to wear a lab coat all the time. They can wear whatever they want. So, the next one. What do artists do all day? They do whatever they want. But a lot of work goes into being an artist, a successful artist. If you have that desire to create, then I think you can be a successful artist. There are a lot of people in this world. As long as you're doing a good job to market your art and connect with people, you'll find an audience that will support you. Obviously, if you make art that appeals to more people, that job will be easier for you. If you make art that's like popular, then you're gonna find your audience a lot quicker than someone who makes art that's a little bit harder to understand. Yeah, what do artists do all day? They work, they create, they market themselves. Artists really have to be well-rounded or find a good team to surround themselves with that will help support them. Okay, so what do artists and scientists have in common? That's a really funny question because I wanted to be a scientist when I was like 5 years old, 4 years old. I think I have like a pretty logical brain, and I think that part of science really appealed to me. But then I realized that I didn't want to be a scientist when I found out what scientists do, and it's like very specific, very specialized. That's the word I'm looking for. If I'm a biologist, I'm not like a general biologist. I am a biologist of a specific kind of insect in the central United States. Although I think that's really cool. I have a lot of different curiosities. For me, artist was a good path to go down because I can be interested in a lot of different things, create that, and put that into my own work. Being an artist was the path that allowed me to be as curious as possible. What do they have in common? Both artists and scientists have a curiosity about the world that I think drives them to whatever questions that they have and they want to answer. Artists tend to find that answer visually, and scientists find that through their research. Yeah, but I think both of them start with a question. I hope you guys got something out of this, and if you like the video, go ahead, like the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and write that down in the comments down below. Let me know, because I really want to make videos that you want to watch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!